for doing this again. Really appreciate it.
No worries.
Basically, all this is I'm writing an article for Spark about how since COVID, supercar sales have gone up.
Mhm.
And Somi Electra basically said to speak to someone who has a vast collection of cars, obviously yourself. Um, so, first question is basically, What is it like to have such a vast collection and driving them as you do?
I think it's weird because it was kind of unintentional.
Mm,
Um, like I never intended to have so many cars, but then it's kind of like it's kind of like every hobby, I guess, in that you get so into it that you just want to collect as many things that to do with that hobby as possible, to learn more and more about it, different aspects of it. Every car is different. Yeah, it's and you get to the point where you don't want to sell one just to get the next one, and if you've financially fortunate enough to be able to do that, then you will do it. Like I have very few other hobbies that take me outside the house. My
yeah,
work is all in software, video games, entertainment in general. um so my life is fairly low cost besides cars. Cars
oh,
are
yeah,
the one big expense.
yeah.
So yeah. What is it like to own all of them? Yeah, it's just weird. It's kind of escalated for me. It's escalated out of nowhere. I think 3 years ago I had two cars, um, and my wife had one car, and now I think it's not a vast collection. I think it's like 15 cars in total, something like that,
It's
15 to
it's
20.
it's more than my
Yeah.
one Fiat Panda, right?
Yeah, well, honestly, don't. For a long time it was one car for me as well, and then suddenly it
Yeah,
just goes wild. Yeah. So
I mean, I've had the pleasure of seeing your Porsche 918 at Goodwood last year.
yeah.
Um, that was a hell of a surprise when we walked up the car park. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like,
Yeah.
it certainly stands out in a big group. And
Yeah.
speaking of your cars, is there like a particular manufacturer that you have affinity to? Because I know that you've got quite a
Yeah.
few Porsches at the minute, and
Mm,
obviously your Gintani Aventador SVJ, which is
hmm.
pretty damn cool. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah. Yeah. So Porsche definitely have an affinity to.
Tom, I think your audio's gone off, mate. I couldn't hear that last second.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, gotcha, mate. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Um. Yeah. So I said Porsche. Porsches I definitely have an affinity to. The Lamborghinis I have an affinity to as well because I think they really nailed it with the handling
Mm,
on the SVJ, but also the Huracan Performante and the STO. I think are amazing cars. They have so much theatre
mm,
um, about them. Um, but I also love some of the older stuff. Like I absolutely I have a couple of R34s, one V Spec, one V Spec 2 No, and I absolutely love driving them. I have I bought an M2 CS that was Chris Harris's beforehand, and he'd had it set up by Litchfield, so it's on coilovers and I believe it's on coilovers. That might be wrong. And it's got an exhaust and a Krapovich exhaust, and that car is absolutely sensational
mm.
on sort of like bumpy Pennine roads. Um, so yeah, like honestly, I love all cars. I don't play favorites. Um, I don't have a Ferrari at the moment, but that I don't. There's not really a reason why. I would love one. I would love like a 458 Speciale. Um, I'd love a LaFerrari. I'd actually love an F40. Their values have gone through the roof. Should have bought one last year, but
Ridiculous
yeah.
how quickly they've increased.
Oh,
So
absolutely crazy.
I follow
Yeah.
like all like car auctions and such. So I follow like I watch all like the Sotheby's and the Bonhams auctions.
Yeah.
And watching F40s go for 1 to 2 mil when 5 years ago they were less than mil is ridiculous.
Yeah, they were probably 500 grand 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of them have doubled in a year. I think a lot of them have gone 1 to 2 million in a year. So yeah. But I love new technology as well. I don't like have anything against electric cars. I know a lot of people do, but I think they're sensational. Like I have a Model X. It's a perfect family car. It's the best family car we've ever had. For a family car, I would always try and go hybrid or electric. Same with the Taycan. Taycan Turbo S. I had one of those, and that was just insane car. Like faster in 99% of conditions, faster than anything that I own. That Taycan Turbo S.
Rapid car.
I honestly love all cars, but I think I'd say the biggest affinity I have is Porsche.
Right. You mentioned a few things in later questions. Actually, I was going to mention electric cars because in my final project for this year, I'm having to do 5 articles, or I'm doing all about electric cars because I have to specialize. And I've spoken to a few people already that have said that they're like collectors and such, and they say, "Oh, I'll never move to electric because fuel and sound is where it's at." But you seem to be more open to the electric world than other people I've spoken to.
I think I understand exactly what they're saying. I think the balance of a well-built, lightweight sports car is not achievable with an electric, with the battery and motors at the moment. And you definitely lose the theater as well. But I wouldn't. For a daily car, I think electric is fantastic, a great option. I don't really have anything against them. Like I said, I think that they're great cars. I think some of the uh, 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 building for electric and stuff is maybe not as easy or sustainable as people would like. So I don't know what the future holds, whether there'll be a new, more environmentally friendly technology that takes over. But I still, in terms of the tech, you can't argue with it. I think in most conditions, electric cars like brutalize internal combustion cars. I think pretty much your one condition which that's not the case is a track, a windy track in particular. So yeah. Nothing. Yeah.
I mean, I've seen it at Goodwood. I watched I think it was, I've seen like the Lucid Air being pushed, the brand new electric. They're ridiculously quick, and I don't quite understand how. I think I might have. I don't think I can hear you again, man.
Yeah, it keeps muting itself, I think.
Nah, don't worry, mate. That's fine. To be fair, I'm surprised you can hear me with this rain. I mean, there's perks to living in student halls, but there's downsides in that I've got basically a tin roof.
Place made out of plastic. Yeah, I remember those days. Yeah,
it does me.
Yeah.
But one last thing, just to finish off. So a lot of your cars obviously are quite pricey. Let's say so the 918, the limited, the special R34s, even the GT4 RS. Do you buy them any cars as like investments, like that you'll keep forever and sell on when they're expensive, or do you just end up, I want that, I'm getting that?
I buy most cars with that long-term value in mind, but it's not the main reason that I buy them. I don't buy as investments. I buy for fun and enjoyment. But I probably wouldn't buy something that was clearly going to devalue rapidly and harshly. Just because there's so many options out there that you don't need to buy a car that's going to plummet in value. I think the one exception for that is an electric car, because obviously as a business owner, and in my case, a multiple business owner these days, you're encouraged by the government at the moment to buy and use electric cars through a business. So in the same way that it used to be the case for diesel cars. So it's in that case, we don't really worry about the value of dropping on an electric car. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time. I know it's been a bit of it's not been how I wanted to get it through. Obviously, being on the phone as opposed to on my laptop, my tech's been a bit dodgy recently, so I do apologise for that. But
that's all good, man.
But thank you very much for speaking to me today. It's been actually real nice.
Likewise.
As a little side note, this is actually slightly depressingly saying this. In the 3 years I've been at uni, this is the first face-to-face video interview I've carried out.
Really?
Yeah, because doing all specialising in cars all the time, I've usually just basically saying, I've gotten to contact people and they've said, or manufacturers, and they're like, there, press release, email, press release.
Mm-hmm.
So it is nice. It's really nice to actually speak to someone about it. So thank you very much for that.
No, it's my pleasure. Yeah. Off the record, I do have a new car coming. Don't.
Hold on. I'll just stop me recording 1 second.
Yeah.